fascinating things in the retrospective was a reconstruction of her darkroom and showing all the interesting things that she looked at. So here is a brief look at my darkroom and the things that I look at. There's Colleen in our early years, an award from the Junior League of Cleveland, President's Award, Shaker Heights High School Alumni Hall of Fame. Of course, you recognize the famous Naked Cowboy of New York City. Here's a picture of Herbert at Iwo Jima Monument in Washington, D.C. Dolores O'Brien, a very close friend of mine who had what they called the gift. The first time I met her, she said, "You've got a rash on your chest, you're constipated, and you need a new alternator in your car," all of which were true. Marvin Hamlish, my look-alike. Former students at University of Akron, where I taught for a while. Two little platinum contact strips, one of a negative from a glass plate negative made about 100 years ago or so, probably more, and the other of Colleen with two poodles. My grandfather Jack working on his figures. He always did his figures. He could multiply 99 times 99 in his head and know the answer because as a child he had been forced to memorize them. He was brilliant when it came to math and accounting and the stock market. A picture of Colleen and I on our honeymoon in Ireland with a borrowed dog. Grandfather Dan Evahima taken near Old Arabi in northern Arizona in Hopi Land. Who else is up here? Jim McCallum, very close friend of mine who passed away from AIDS in the early 90s. The graduation, the retirement party of Dr. Melvin Goldstein, who taught me everything I learned in 7 years of college in 2 semesters of Myself, Dave Kowalski, Jim, Tom Hong, former Tai Chi teacher, who's, there's Ansel Adams. Hi, Ansel. Down here, Poodle Brady. Colleen, when we were first married, young and beautiful, as we all were. The grounds crew and the painting crew of a house in Shaker Heights that I worked on for several years as photographer. These were sort of meant to replicate the old Civil War kinds of portraits, obviously done in platinum. Myself with Poodle Lucy Lou and Poodle Brady. My grandparents, Leo and Peachy, when they were in their late 90s. A picture of my father, which I copied. It was dated 1929. A beautiful portrait of a woman photographer whose negatives I have the honor of archiving. Came from New York City many, many years ago. Dennis Connor, a very close friend of mine who passed away several years ago. There's Poodle Brady. Cheyenne Indians, when I photographed up in Montana. I don't remember his name, but the dog's name was Rocky, and there's a remarkable resemblance. One of the true great cowboys of all time, Lee Van Cleef. Myself with young Leica, the boys in an early Halloween portrait, myself and Chip. My grandfather Jack in Acapulco. He loved to fish, he loved to play golf, and he was one of the most wonderful self-made men I'd ever met in my life. And to close out the video, there's a picture of Herbert taken in 1987 when I was 40 years old. I took him to Paris with me for a birthday party.